Another wing for Trump from the appeals court, and this is a big one because the appeals court has ruled that the Trump administration can indeed freeze funds to organizations such as the USAID. As to how they ruled that way and what was the verdict, was there a split, all that stuff and more in this small slide deck. A request to all of you to first like this video. Here we go.
I like the treatment here. It's very relaxing and being with the nature.
The most powerful facet that I've experienced here is the power of human touch.
So what happened? Well, we know that on day one of assuming office, Trump had put pause on USAID fund. He signed a slew of bills. One of them was this. So what happened was the US Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit ruled 2-1 in favor of Trump, allowing his administration to continue freezing billions in foreign aid. And I'll tell you the numbers, and they are mind-boggling, and this is all taxpayer money. So it is a sort of victory for all the taxpayers who have been aghast at the way the United States spends our taxpayer money. The decision lifted a lower court injunction that had forced the administration to release funds approved by Congress. The ruling centered on legal standing. What it means is that in this particular case, the court ruled in a very specific way that the aid groups that sued lacked constitutional grounds for bringing in such a lawsuit. So then you might ask, who is qualified to bring in the lawsuit? We'll come to that in just one moment. On the first day of assuming office, Trump had imposed a 90-day pause on all foreign aid. His administration later implemented sweeping cuts and dismantled much of USAID, which oversaw close to $30 billion. Bye-bye Tides Foundation, bye-bye whatever funding Equality Labs was getting, all that stuff, gone. Everything gone, zero, zip, nada, nothing. So let's see how the Dalit Diva now tries to find funding. By the way, there is another, it's called SB 617, if I remember correctly. It is to sanction those countries who might seize assets of people like the Khalistani supporter Pannu. And this one is specifically being piloted by the Sikh, absolutely small minority of people. But unfortunately, the stupid assemblymen and senators of the state of California are all eating it up. This is all money play, I can tell you, and I'm really disgusted with this whole lot. Throw this whole bunch of rascals out, maybe bring in a whole set of new rascals. Who knows how long they will behave before they start behaving recklessly. That's the state of California today. It is inching towards civil war, I'm afraid. Let's wait and see about that. That's a different topic. Let's get back to this one. Trump has consistently criticized foreign aid as wasteful and against his America First agenda. Who were the people who brought this lawsuit? AIDS Vaccine Advocacy Coalition, AVAC, and the Journalism Development Network. They challenged the freeze on $10 billion in foreign aid, which included nearly $4 billion for global health programs through September and over $6 billion for HIV/AIDS programs through 2028. A lower court had sided with the plaintiffs, ordering nearly $2 billion in aid to be restored, but Wednesday's appeal ruling now overturns the whole thing. And who were the people who ruled for the Trump administration? Judge Karen LeCraft Henderson, she is a George H.W. Bush appointee, and Judge Gregory Katsas, who is a Trump appointee. That's probably from the first term. The majority held that under the Impoundment Control Act of 1974, that was promulgated by Richard Nixon, only the Comptroller General, part of the legislative branch, can sue over alleged impoundment violations. So the CAG did not bring in the lawsuit, it was somebody else. That's why they rejected it. Now, what will the parties who have lost do? We'll come to that in just a moment. There is one judge who dissented. Her name is Florence Pan. She is a Biden appointee, and she said that the ruling was startling and erroneous. And Pan argued that refusing to spend funds appropriated by Congress due to policy disagreements raises serious constitutional concerns. So she is looking at it very narrowly from the fact that the funds were released by Congress. She also accused the majority of failing to hold the president accountable for a potential overreach. This smacks of a Democrat appointee being, Democrat first and the judge next. This is my opinion. I'm giving a comment on her judgment. I'm no lawyer. At the same time, it looks definitely that way. By the way, viewers, there are some surprises in store, some new judgments that we'll be covering, where you'll have some Trump appointees give some interesting judgments. So stay tuned for that. That's coming down the pipeline in the next few days. AG Pamela Bondi celebrated the rulings as a Justice Department victory for protecting presidential authority. Office of Management and Budget, also called OMB, Director Russ Watt called it a big win for responsible spending aligned with Trump's policies. Lauren Bateman of Public Citizen Litigation Group, representing the grantees, vowed to seek further court review, warning that the decision risks disease, starvation, and death for vulnerable populations. Let me ask you a blunt question. Why is it the United States' responsibility to give money for HIV and AIDS victims across the whole world? Answer this question first. CNN Supreme Court analyst Steve Vladeck called the ruling nonsensical, arguing it minimizes constitutional violations and suggests the full DC circuit may rehear the case. So they want to make the bench size bigger and see if they will differ. So we'll have to wait and see. These are all things where they are doing calculations. This is a Democrat appointee, this is a Republican appointee. If there's a bench of 7, 4 are Republican, 3 are Democrat, or the other way around, and therefore they will get this thing overturned. These are all just speculations at this point of time. And this Impoundment Control Act was enacted in 1974 by President Richard Nixon, and he refused to spend congressionally approved funds. And the law was that it preserves, this is the ICA, Impoundment Control Act, preserves Congress's constitutional power of the purse by limiting a president's ability to impound funds. The president must notify Congress of any proposed deferrals or rescissions, and permanent cancellations require congressional approval within 45 days. Failure to comply mandates spending the funds. So we have to wait and see how this plays out. There are still some wrinkles, I believe. And now the GAO, Government Accountability Office, in previous instances, such as the funding for Ukraine, had ruled it as unlawful. So there are wings within the government itself saying that this is not right. So you have various branches of government weighing in on this. We have to wait and see how the full bench, if the case goes there, rules. Now, who are the plaintiffs? Like I said, AVAC and Journalism Development, they want to seek further review, take it to the full DC court, or if that fails, take it to the Supreme Court of the United States, that is SCOTUS. So these are things that are normal, but these decisions and these rulings will come down very, very quickly in the United States, unlike in India, and that's what is the beauty of the system. Whether you like it or not, you will know quickly whether you're going to be able to fly or not. The legal challenges based on existing contract will continue, as the ruling does not affect obligations under executed agreements. So there will be some trickle down from this. The GAO's Comptroller General could initiate a lawsuit, but this depends on political dynamics, as the Congress may be reluctant to sue when aligned with the president. The Congress, there is a small majority, I think 3 or 4 seats that the Republicans enjoy. The freeze could lead to significant reductions in global health and HIV/AIDS programs affecting millions worldwide, unless further legal or legislative action reverses these cuts. I don't see them doing that. In fact, I think this should go through, because in the name of this, a lot of money has been misappropriated for other causes. That is the big beef here. Let's wait and see how this plays out. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.